This is probably going to be my hardest video to upload, because I won't be able to upload this without offending somebody and making them really upset. But at this point, I don't care anymore. This is a rant about the behavior of the LGBT community and my personal thoughts and opinions on transgenderism and homosexuality. What's been really bothering me about this society is that people are offended very easily. You can't say anything without being called racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, hater, bigot, and so on and so forth. If I were to say every single thing that came to my mind out loud, I would be one of the most offensive people on earth. If I can't have my opinion, then why should you have yours? It is clearly a double standard. I want to talk about the LGBT community. These people have been trying to create an empire to rule the world, and they ostracize anyone that disagrees with them. My opinion is that homosexuality is a sin, but then these people say I can't have my opinion because it's homophobic. They see it as no different than hating someone for the color of their skin. But let's talk about this. Here's how I understand it. A relationship can be interpreted in many ways. A same-sex relationship could just be like the relationship David and Jonathan had, where it didn't lead to sex and marriage. The Bible doesn't seem to condemn those types of relationships. But what it does condemn is sexual acts between the same sex, because they know sex is very dangerous and has led to lots of diseases. They will argue back by saying, well, straight people can get diseases too, but it doesn't matter, it's still dangerous. And you might say, well, it's not like it's hurting anyone, but don't you count as somebody? There's more reasons why God condemns the act of a man laying with another man. And then there's the fact that some of you have tried to force bakeries to bake a cake for your wedding. But what if they don't want to? I think that businesses should have the right to discriminate. I don't think they should be forced to do anything. If they don't want to serve a customer based on their beliefs and convictions, they don't have to. They shouldn't be forced to do anything they're not comfortable with. It's their business and their decisions. If they won't serve you, take your request elsewhere. And if their business loses money in business, that's on their business. It may be wrong to discriminate, but discrimination is still protected under freedom of speech. Whenever a business turns out a gay couple, things are blown out of proportion. It gets shown on the news and then people fuss over it and cause a riot. Now about gay marriages, I don't think there is such a thing as gay marriage. Marriage was created specifically for one man and one woman. At the very least, give it a different name, like a civil union or a partnership. But please, don't call it gay marriage. Calling it that has caused so many issues. I don't believe people are born gay. I believe the temptations and desires to lay with the same sex come from our sinful flesh. We are sinful at birth. That's why it might feel like you're just born with these attractions. But you know what? I'll play along. Let's say for the sake of arguing you can be born gay. But then here's the thing. Who you choose to date is still a choice. You can also choose to remain celibate. Maybe even choose the opposite sex. That's still a choice, and that's on you. I found the legalization of same-sex marriage in all 50 states to be a slippery slope. Now that homosexuals have all these rights and are accepted by society, who's to say people won't also push for pedophilia and bestiality to become accepted? But what I have a bigger problem with is the transgender community. What can I say about that? What transgenderism has become is another big trend. The reasons why people are transgender that I can think of is that they were bullied for the gender they were born as. So they want to change their gender to stop being ridiculed. And that they were also bullied for having interests outside the gender norms. Or they just simply think that they were born in the wrong body and that they're the opposite gender on the inside. Or maybe they're just jumping in on the trend because they think it's cool. I think that believing you were born in the wrong body is delusional. There's no proof. When God created you, He didn't make a mistake. He made you the gender that you are. You could argue that biological sex and gender are different. Gender roles can change, but gender traits remain. Here's my concern. What if an old man wants to identify as a 6-year-old? What if a 6-year-old wants to identify as a 21-year-old? What if an able person wants to identify as a disabled person? What if a disabled person wants to identify as an able person? What if someone wants to identify as an animal in a human body? Where do we draw the line? If a man can identify as a woman, or if a woman can identify as a man, shouldn't anything go? Being bullied is no good reason to be ashamed of your gender. Not everyone's going to like you. It's just how the world is. So just be yourself. You shouldn't have to change your gender just to please other people. And if you have interests outside of gender norms, where you're a boy that likes girl things or a girl that likes boy things, what's the big deal? Don't let anyone tell you different. Don't let anyone make you want to change your gender because of that. Granted, nobody really cares if a girl likes boy stuff like Transformers, but people still lose their minds when boys like girl things. Granted though, that's been changing with the rise of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Then there's also the fact that transgenders have been demanding that people call them by all these preferred pronouns and all of the gajillion genders they came up with. They get so offended when people don't call them by their proper pronoun or proper gender. Oh, well sorry that I didn't call you by your proper pronoun and gender that not everybody in the world knows about. The only way you won't feel offended is if you told every single person on earth what your preferred pronoun and preferred gender is. Honestly though, I feel dishonest with myself when I call a biological male a she, even if it's that person's preferred pronoun. What I want to say is, life isn't fair. Not everyone is going to agree with you. Not everyone is going to accept you. I am willing to agree to disagree with you if you are a homosexual or a transgender. But what I don't tolerate is when you won't tolerate my opinion and cry out, "You hate us!" I don't hate you at all. I may disagree with what you're doing, but I don't hate you as a person. I'm tired of how society makes things into us versus them. Each side is told, look how much these people hurt you. They are a plague to society and we must get rid of them. This isn't how we can function as a society. If we want to function, we need to set aside our differences and actually sit down and talk about this. Then we can see what we disagree on, but also what we agree on, and then make compromises and decisions based on that. But instead, it's always right versus left, conservative versus liberal, Republican versus Democrat. We'd rather yell at each other and kill each other over our disagreements instead of sitting down and talking about them like civilized people. It's barbaric. Now, I'm not blameless either. I also have my own sins and problems. I've condemned, judged, and antagonized people because I disagree with them. And when I get angry, I become blind and I don't see both sides of a story. But I am working on my flaws, which is why I am getting my honest thoughts out there so we can discuss them. Anyways, that's all my thoughts. I've probably made a lot of people upset by saying those things, but I also hope and pray that this planted some new seeds in your mind for you to think about. Something that would give us something to discuss together. This is Ethan Horn, this was Godly Dragon Reviews and Apologetics, and you have a blessed day. Hey guys, thanks for listening to my rant. It's really hard and scary to get this kind of thing off my chest. So if you really like this video and want to see more, please click on one of the end screen annotation links. Thank you and have a blessed day.